Welcome to The Breakdown, brought to you by PaintballAccess.com. Matty Marshall here with Todd Martinez, and today we're going to be talking about the G count, the G rating leaders for 2013 across the 5 events of the PSP season. Now, what the G count is, the G rating, it's like a batting average, essentially. You take how many kills you got, how many points you played, and figure out per point how many players are you eliminating. So let's get right into it. First up, number 5 on the G rating list is Damien Ryan from Los Angeles Infamous. Todd, you have you know who this guy is. You've coached this guy before. Talk to us a little bit about Damien Ryan.
Well, Damien Ryan is definitely the guy that played every point. I think he missed 5 points this year for LA Infamous. And Damien Ryan is that guy that's going to get you a kill on the break, read the field, see what's happening, watch the game unfold, and then make that move, whether it be across the snake, to the Doritos, up the middle, where he was best. He'd read the situation and then go and get more kills for you. Damien Ryan was a stat stuffer this year because he would definitely get his kill on the break and attack that middle hard. Between he and Nicky Cuba, you always had to look where these guys were lining up to see if you lost a body on that break, you could expect one of these guys to be up in that A on your side of the field very shortly after that.
Well, the thing with Damien is that he's that guy that Infamous really counts on. 240 points played. I mean, that's ridiculous. When you look at guys on Dynasty, I mean, Oliver Lang, who was our overall leader, he was the Top Gun award winner for this season. And he played 127 points. So Damien played 240 to Oliver's 127. That's being asked a lot from your team to go out and play that many times. But of course, if you were coaching Damien, which you did, that makes complete sense. You know, Damien's game has really evolved, and he's seeing the field well. He plays very aggressive. He can also play defensive. He's become one of the more versatile guys in the league. The thing with Damien, though, is I think that you know, obviously he can just go out and just do his thing, just go and just slaughter people out there. But I think that it might be time in his career to try to evolve as a leader. You know, I mean, he's obviously leading by example, but I think he's old enough and been around long enough that it's one of those things that I think that if he were to do that, I think it'd really help out Infamous. And yeah, man, Damien Ryan, 240 points played, 193 confirmed kills for a G rating of .80, ranked 5th overall in the G rating. Let's move on to number 4. It's going to be Brian Smith from Tampa Bay Damage, 104 points played, 84 kills, .81. Everyone's really close there on the G rating, and Brian Smith had walked away from the game for a while and couldn't stay away, got right back in it, and immediately played a big factor for Tampa Bay Damage.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that Brian Smith is on the field, if he gets to his spot, he's going to be there alive. He's never going to throw away his body with silly gun battles. He's very smart. He's very calm, cool, and collected when he's out there on the field. He communicates very well, and he was a great guy for Kevin Brethauer to get back, coach of Tampa Bay Damage, to be able to get back and count on to be consistent out there. I think he missed actually one event because of illness, but was still able to get in there and actually tied with Oliver Lang for that .81 G rating for the year. But I mean, just the efficiency, you know, if you look at he and Oliver Lang, the amount of points they both played 104 and 127, and was just able to get in there and be solid, get kills, and just be dependable. You know, he's a killer, but he's just that dude that you can really trust if you put him on one side of the field by himself.
Well, Brian Smith's calm, methodical attack is what's impressive about his game. You know, when he first came up and when Tampa Bay Damage first came up, one of the most notable things about that team was the attack that came down the snake side that earned him the nickname Agent Smith, because he was just straight up like a FBI agent, man. A calm, methodical killer, not too loud, very quiet and soft-spoken, but he would just get it done out there on the field. And it's definitely a really big boost to the offense, I think, of Tampa Bay Damage, especially as now he's got a full year back in the league, and he did miss a little bit of time. I think that, you know, Tampa Bay Damage, as long as guys like Smith and Holiday and Prost and all the killers they have on that team continue to play the game, Tampa Bay Damage is going to be a favorite. So let's move on to the Top Gun Award winner, actually, of 2013. Ended up sneaking in there after the World Cup, which actually San Diego Dynasty, they did not fare that well at World Cup. They took 5th overall, but they did get shut out twice. After winning 2 events, they were the champions. But the big question when we started taking stats last year was, you know, where's Oliver Lang going to hit? Where is Oliver Lang going to end up in the overall player rankings. And though last year didn't do as well as everyone expected to, I think that he played this year pretty fierce, and he ended up the overall Top Gun Award winner. However, in the G rating, he was ranked third. Actually did tie with Brian Smith, but Oliver played more points and got more kills. So he played 127 points, 103 kills for Oliver Lang for a .81 G rating. And a lot of people are like, wow, so on the average, these guys are killing less than one player per point, but if you look at it over, I mean, you may get shot off the break. I mean, so much stuff happens out there. Sometimes you're running guys down and you get 2 or 3 in one. You may have a little bit of a mid-tournament slump or mid-game slump where you're not shooting anybody out there, but that's just how it shakes out in pro paintball. So, Oliver Lang is, I think, he had a great year. Didn't play as many points as some of obviously the points played leaders, but the way that Rusty Glaze had utilized all of his players so well. I mean, Oliver, we actually have a podcast coming up with Oliver pretty soon, and he's had a lot of interesting things to say about this year.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver, it's all about consistency. That's why he was the Top Gun leader. Any day could have been the best player on the field, best player at the event. Definitely helped Dynasty win those first 2 events this year. But, I mean, you expect Oliver to be in the top G rating leaders season after season, now that we're keeping stats. So Oliver Lang, Mr. Consistent, Top Gun winner. It's no surprise he's on this list.
Yeah, so let's head to the second ranked player here in the G rating leaders. It's Justin Rabikoff from Edmonton Impact. And, Justin, 177 points played, 152 confirmed kills, .86. Justin's a killer, man. Justin is, he's a specimen out there. He's another one of those guys that has just played the game for so long at such a high level that it's kind of become second nature for him. But he's Steve Rabikoff, one of our co-hosts' kid. So he grew up in the game. And when he was, I remember when I was on the Ironman, we'd roll him into practices when he was like 10, 11 just for fun. And he'd get out there and be real serious about it. So it's not surprising that he ended up being one of the best players in the world. And struggled with Tampa Bay Damage, who he played with last season, and then moved to Impact this season, and really kind of started to emerge from that cocoon, and it's not like he played bad for Damage, but not as well as he played for the Russians.
Yeah, I think with Justin, it's really just all about him being comfortable, and him having that freedom. And I think Impact, going to them this year, they were just like, hey, man, we know who you are. Go out and do your thing. And to get 152 kills out of 177 points played, I mean, you look at all the guys on this list, and they are just the guys in the league that are the hardest to kill. Justin Rabikoff, another one of those dudes that just does not give his body away. The best chance to get Justin Rabikoff off the field is on the break. If you see him lining up over there, I know I do, we key up for Justin. You got to get him out, because if you let him get to his spot, there's a good chance he's going to kill 2 or 3 of your guys. So, I mean, with a .86 G rating, finishes second, but if you let him out on the field, he's a tough guy to get off, and there's a good chance that he's coming for everybody on this side of the field.
Well, let's talk about the number 1 guy here in this category. And if you watched any of these games that he played, particularly in Chicago, I felt that Chicago was this guy's best event. Constantine Fedorov. Constantine Fedorov from Houston Heat, actually now going to play for Art Chaos, which is going to be one of the awesome reasons to watch the 2014 PSP season. But Constantine Fedorov for Houston Heat played with them for 2 seasons and helped them win 4 of the 10 events that they played in, which is pretty ridiculous. They won Chicago, won 3 last year. Constantine Fedorov, 217 points played, 201 kills, and a G rating of .93, completely ridiculous and off the charts. How good is Constantine Fedorov?
I mean, I've said this before, he's definitely my favorite player to watch right now. I mean, it has been for the past couple years, just because the things that he thinks of, the way that he sees the field is unheard of. He's playing at the top of his game, and just watching this guy play, the moves that he does, the seams that he sees, the way he reads the field and reacts to situations, the different acrobatics, I guess you would say.
Well, he's very creative.
He does.
He takes a very creative line when he's out there. And I think that's one of the reasons that we love watching him play. But when you're at that level, you're right, he looks at the field a different way. He also takes a lot of risks. So, he was the G rating leader, Not as high, and I mean, he's always close. He's always threatening, but he takes a lot of risks. So, you know, he does get shot sometimes, but he's definitely one of those guys that has the amnesia that you need. Like, okay, whatever, I got shot there doing something crazy, no big deal. I'm gonna go out and do it like it needs to get done on this next point. So, you know, Constantine Fedorov just had a ridiculous year, and it's going to be interesting to see because, you know, we were talking off camera as we, you know, head in. So if you look at the so those are the top 5 guys, capped off by Constantine Fedorov. Those are the top 5 guys just in the G rating. So that's just how many kills do you get per point, right? But if you look at it as the top 10 kill counts, just straight how many kills these guys have, Fedorov's number 1, again with the 201 kills. But then Damien Ryan right behind him at second, 193. Archie Montemayor, 157. Justin Rabikov, 152. Jason Edwards, 136. Marcelo Margot, 135. I mean, these are really close here. Chad Boucher right after that, 124. And then a bunch of guys are tied. Colt Roberts and Bobby Aviles at 122 each. And then there's a 3-way tie with Mishka Kiesnev, Alex Goldman, and Sergei Sholnaiskov, all at 119. But Todd, you were saying that Houston Heat is losing Fedorov, they're losing Sergei, and they're losing Mishka. How many kills is that total that they're losing? 439
kills that they are losing in one fell swoop straight to Art Chaos.
Yeah,
so Art Chaos is set up pretty good for next year. But, I mean, just this top list, I mean, that you have the 10 guys here, I mean.
It'd be a hell of a 10-man team.
Yeah, I mean, so close. I mean, and all these guys, if you were to ask me, you know, name the top 10 gunfighters in the league, these dudes are going to be on there.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're the top killers in the league. So thank you guys for tuning in here to the G Rating Leaders, brought to you by PaintballAccess.com, the breakdown of Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez. Make sure to like us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and, you know, help us share the content. We're trying to spread the paintball gospel here, and we got a great 2014 PSP season coming at you. We'll see you next time.
How many countries I've visited, how many miles you've traveled,
how many paintballs you've shot at different people,
how much baby powder I've used, how many hotels we've trashed,
how many places I've driven,
how many guns I've gone through, how much I love the game.
It's all the times that you had to tell your family that you couldn't be there for this or that because you were going to play paintball.
How many friends I've gotten out of it.
That's just why I love paintball. That's why I love paintball.
That's why I love paintball. But that's why I love paintball.
There are massive opportunities, both for the sport of paintball and for your business. If we are successful in taking our sport to another level, unite with Paintball Access in our quest to elevate paintball and broadcast it to the world. There are advertising packages available for any size business. Join us. Advertise with PBA and help us change the sport for the better forever.